In 2017, The New Yorker published an article by South African philosopher David Benatar entitled The Case for Not Being Born, laying out an argument and igniting a societal debate surrounding a movement known as antinatalism. And now, 6 years and several catastrophes later, the conversation is only growing.
Antinatalism is just the view that it's morally wrong, always, everywhere, and for anyone practically, to create new sentient life.
This is Blake Harith, a neuroethicist, philosopher, and postdoctoral research associate at the University of Massachusetts Lowell.
It's interesting how this sort of view has found its way into these old philosophical problems that people are very interested in, and that a lot of people care about on a popular level. Ricky Gervais has this comedy bit where he says,
"No, you don't have children." I say, "No." I say, "Why don't you have children?" Which is a really odd question to ask someone, why don't you have children? As opposed to asking people, why do you have children, right? People say, oh, it's selfish to not have children. How can it be selfish to not bring a life into the world that doesn't exist on any level? It's a long sort of cabinet full of potential ghost fetuses going, we want to be born, right?
I also think that popular political figures like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York brought this to the public's attention in a very generational way by saying climate change is really bad. I don't know how I feel about bringing children into the world.
There's scientific consensus that the lives of children are going to be very difficult. And it does lead, I think, young people to have a legitimate question. Is it okay to still have children?
In a 2021 survey conducted by Modern Fertility, more than half of the 2,800 respondents were considering having fewer kids or reconsidering kids altogether because of issues related to climate change.
It may be that the best way to do right by future generations is not to create them. We realize we're not currently maintaining a world in a way that's going to make it worth inheriting.
The drop in global birth rates has various governments on high alert. None more so than South Korea, which, despite implementing a swath of pro-natalist policies, has reported the lowest birth rate in the world. In response to what South Korean women call a patriarchal culture, they have decided to go on a nationwide birth strike.
Governments need more humans for everything, you need more humans to pay taxes, you need more humans to send them off to war, you need more humans to work. So it's really not surprising.
This is Alexandra Cook. She runs a website called stophavingkids.org, which focuses on promoting the message of antinatalism.
We would never advocate for anything that takes anyone's bodily autonomy away or infringes upon that in any way. Just as much as I want my right to not have children, I couldn't feel comfortable being like, well, you shouldn't have that right either. We're just against procreation across the board. You could be the smartest person in the world and we would still say don't do it. If you look at what's happened in the last 200 years, it's very clear that procreation will actually lead to the collapse of our society, whether that's, either a resource-based collapse or just a social collapse, So yeah, I would say instead of trying to fix our problems by bringing more humans into existence that will exacerbate the problems, why don't we actually take the time that we have, because we're not, because we are child-free, to focus on fixing these problems.
I think antinatalism as a view sometimes gets confused with pro-mortalism. Before creating new mouths to feed, we should feed the ones who are here.
This may all sound like doom and gloom, but the rise in popularity of antinatalist points of view are paralleled by the adulthood of Millennials and Gen Z. And with almost 50% of the globe's population residing in countries below replacement rate, people are being forced to pay attention.